Well, talk about exploits. Ishan Kishan said, "Give me an opportunity and I will grab it by the throat." Surya Kumar Yadav said, "What form? What form concerns? Because I am here, I am back, and I am here to stay as the captain of the T20I side." And Shivam Dube said, "Well, what's wrong if Hardik Pandya is not there? I can finish the innings for you. I can finish the game for you." That's what we saw. That's what was on display by the Indian batting lineup tonight. And Shomik joins us here as well. But Shomik joins us from outside Raipur, so he will tell us what the mood is like. But Bharat and Ashok joining me tonight. Bharat, I'll start with you. Of course, we were having this off the camera chat where you said that the New Zealand bowling was bogus, but at the same time,
I didn't use that one.
I just added a little pepper over there. I just added a little more spice. But no, tell me, looking back on this, Ishan Kishan was fabulous. Surya Kumar Yadav was sensational, and of course, Shivam Dube, the way that he finished this innings, lots of positive signs for India ahead of the T20 World Cup.
See, starting with Surya Kumar Yadav, the one good part I noticed was how he played straight down the ground. See, when Surya Kumar Yadav is at his worst, what he tends to do is he tends to play a lot more through the onside, and that is basically he tries this favorite shot of his pickup stroke. Yes, it's a good stroke to have, but when he's out of form, he tries to play too many times. So what basically happens is he can get a leading edge or he can get a thick edge, and he's got out enough times trying to play that way. So in that sense, it was great to see that he played a lot more straighter. He targeted the downtown territories, and stats also agree with me. He basically scored 17 of his runs down the ground, and that is, I think, the best sign for Surya Kumar Yadav. Yeah, as far as Ishan Kishan is concerned, yeah, I think he's improved significantly since the days that I first saw him in under 19 cricket in 2016. Yeah, 2016. If you look at his game, a lot of runs came through the offside, and that is a good sign again. He's someone who started out as a player who tried to clear his front leg and hit through the onside. That is a quintessential modern day T20 hitter. That's basically a quintessential modern day T20 hitter. But Ishan Kishan has definitely branched out his game. He's playing a lot more through the offside. And I also noticed that he's playing a lot more full strokes. And that is another very, very good sign because, again, a lot of Indian players try to clear the front leg and try to take on the short ball. But Ishan Kishan is someone who I think who depends more on the authentic full stroke. So these are really good signs for Indian cricket. And even without someone like Jasprit Bumrah, they just cantered to a victory. In my humble opinion, India are the clear favourites for the T20 World Cup. The only thing that can stop the Indian team from winning a T20 World Cup is there is a good old cliché that the best teams don't always win a World Cup.
Oh, he put a little cherry on top of that cake there with that last sentence. But Ashok, before I go to Shomik, Ashok, how are you looking at this game? Of course, a very crucial knock from Surya Kumar Yadav. Last game as well, scoring 40 odd runs. This is what you want the captain to do ahead of the World Cup.
Yeah, when the sky is clear in Raipur, Gargi, I think India's horizon looks bright come February 7th, is what I'd say. I think this was a long time coming. I think we spoke about it on the pre show as well. It was critical. I think the top item in the list as India prepares for the T20 World Cup was Captain Surya Kumar Yadav coming into form, coming into runs. He himself has never denied that he was out of form, but I think today we saw shots all around the wicket, 360 player that he is. I thought the other thing that he displayed with a lot of maturity was that when Ishan Kishan was on fire and going all guns blazing, I thought Sky actually held back and rotated the strike, took those sharp singles and gave him a lot of the strike, and then went into fourth gear when the timing was right. And that brings me to the larger point, which is that I think New Zealand tried to copy the India template, and the learning really for everyone today, I think, was that just copying the template without having the depth to back it up. I think Shomik spoke about it in the pre-match show, which is that India kept going in terms of the strike rate, in terms of acceleration, and it's not just power play flourish; it's about the ability to get your other batsmen to keep scoring at the same tempo That is the perfection of the India template. So to mimic that template without having the depth to back it up doesn't work. And when it came to the Indian batting, I think that's what Surya Kumar Yadav, Shivam Dube, and of course that classy innings from Ishan Kishan turning the match on its head. I think that's what it proved. And therefore, I think if you ask me, two big experiments ticked off. One, Surya Kumar Yadav back in the runs, and two, I thought that India, in spite of losing Abhishek Sharma and Sanju Samson early, managed to actually finish off this match. That too somewhere at the end of 15th, in the 16th over, right? So with almost more than 4 overs to spare, is a statement in itself.
Oh, Shomik's, I believe we've lost Shomik. We'll try to get him back. But Bharat, coming back to you, 2 wicket has a comment here. He's saying Kishan and Sky added 122 runs off 48 balls for the third wicket at a run rate of 15.25. This is India's fourth fastest stand for any wicket in T20Is. Bharat, again going back to that conversation that we had off camera. I said that maybe it was Ishan Kishan's batting that threw the New Zealand bowlers off their track. But what are your thoughts looking back on Ishan Kishan? He gets a chance in the playing 11 in the absence of Tilak Verma, but going ahead, how do you see this? If Ishan keeps batting like this, he's undroppable.
Yeah, we saw that in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy as well. I followed it a bit. I watched a little bit of it. He was definitely in amazing form. It's great for him because he's waded through a little bit of a tricky phase in the recent past. So from his perspective, it is great to see that he's doing so well. Yes, it was his innings. I think it was him pressing the accelerator pedal that definitely helped Surya Kumar Yadav maybe just to get himself in a little bit, get his eye in for a few deliveries, and then obviously put on an explosion of fireworks. So yes, going forward, so it's interesting to see. If you really ask me, Ishan Kishan would be putting Tilak Verma under quite a bit of pressure because when the conditions are good for batting, Ishan is the kind of player who can get you maybe 100 of 35 balls as well, 100 of 40 balls or 100 of 35 deliveries in these kind of conditions. So when you have a game breaker like that, you definitely would be tempted to kind of pick that player. But having said that, Tilak Verma obviously has shown that kind of sound temperament under pressure, which we saw in the Asia Cup. So it's going to be difficult to drop a player like him. But if I were the selector and if I were the part of the think tank, I would definitely be tempted to think of picking Ishan Kishan somewhere.
I think the other way to look at it, just to
Yeah.
build on that, Gargi, is to say that India's got a good problem to have, which is that, I mean, the other way to look at it is that with two wicket keepers now in the squad, Sanju Samson and Ishan Kishan, maybe the other way to think about it is that over the next three matches before the T20 World Cup starts, experiment with them, and depending on the form and depending on who's in the runs, that could be the other way to think about this problem rather than look at it as just a number three spot. So I would keep all options open at this stage, and then over the next three matches really firm up the batting lineup.
We're trying to get Shomik back, but there obviously seems to. Okay, Shomik, can you hear me?
Yeah, Gargi, internet is a bit. So I will keep my stint short. I will keep my stint short because internet is a bit patchier, as you can understand. So if you question, please.
Tell us what the crowd was reacting like to the three musketeers of the Indian batting lineup today: Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav, and then Shivam Dube. It was back to back, relentless hitting from them.
See, first of all, Ishan Kishan, Raipur witnessed his redemption act. December 2023, he fell out with the Indian team management, then Indian team management. He asked for a break, and that was interpreted as something different. And he lost his central contract. He became a persona non grata in Indian cricket. And from there, coming back by dint of his performances in domestic cricket, he kept a stiff upper lip. He worked hard. He is a very nice boy, I can attest. because I have friends in Jharkhand cricket. Ishan Jaggi, Saurabh Tayari. I have friends in Jharkhand cricket, and they will confirm that Ishan Kishan is a very nice boy, and he is an out and out teammate. So it feels nice when I see him score runs. And there is a bigger picture that Sanju Samson is struggling to get going. It's still not a concern yet, but if he fails to get his act together by the time Tilak Verma returns to the party, Tilak Verma, when he comes back, he will straight away go into the number 3 slot. India now has their backup opener ready. So if Sanju Samson fails to get his act together by the time Tilak Verma comes back to the party, then the team management might be tempted to pair up Ishan Kishan with Abhishek Sharma at the top. So it presents a bigger picture. And this is just a continuation of his fantastic form in domestic white ball cricket. Be it in the 50-over format, Vijay Hazare Trophy, be it the Syed Mustaq Ali Trophy, he has been excellent. And he has regained his mojo, and that's excellent news for Indian cricket. Coming to Surya Kumar Yadav, his innings today is a rap on the knuckles for those who questioned, or who rather sort of put him under the scanner. People, I mean, you can see on social media, armchair keyboard warriors on social media say a lot of stuff that he has lost his mojo. He is now on the wrong side of 30, stuff like that. But we, the reporters who go into the nets, we see him batting very well at the nets. And Surya has been maintaining the same thing, that I have been batting well at the nets, runs are not coming. And I will not. I asked him this question in Nagpur and he said, no, I will not change. I will not do anything differently because I don't want to lose my identity. So you saw when, at the very right time with the World Cup approaching, this should augur well for the Indian team. And Shivam Dube has been contributing. He is very, very important in terms of the team's balance. And it's a good call from the team management to promote him up the order and send him there. Overall, the way after losing the first 2 wickets inside 2 overs for 6 runs, that 128-run partnership, and Ishan did the bulk of scoring. And during that part, the way he protected Surya and the way he allowed Surya to get into the group, that also is very, very creditable.
Ashok, coming back to you, Shomik talked about Surya Kumar Yadav never losing his technique, never looking technically flawed. We've seen that back in Asia Cup as well, that even when he wasn't getting runs, he was actually batting very, very well in the nets. This is I don't know what to call it. It's difficult for outsiders to understand when we say that, oh, this batter is looking great in the nets, but is unable to get some runs behind it.
I think he had tremendous faith in himself and his template. Shamik spoke about identity. I think that's something that he's reflected in the words that he has always maintained. And so, in that sense, it is a testimony to the fact that he had the confidence in himself. He knew what he was doing, and it was a matter of time before the runs came in. I think if you saw the 9th over, I think it was the 9th over when Fox was bowling, and he plundered him for 25 runs. There was, I spoke about in the pre-batch show that in Nagpur, he got 50% of his runs on the offside and 50% on the onside. Here we saw the old Surya Kumar Yadav, where there was this one ball that he sliced between extra cover and mid-off of Fox. And then the next ball, he pulled it behind the wicket for a 6 to plunder 25 runs. I think, it's just a testimony to the fact that he has been batting well in the nets. His confidence is high. He has belief in that template. He doesn't want to give up the identity. And it's a matter of getting his mojo back. And I think if there was ever a template, this is it. And I think, you're right that it's very difficult to make sense of this, that here's a player who's batting strongly at the nets, but when it comes to the big match situation. But what we tend to forget is that there are a variety of situations, a variety of conditions that come into play. Some are physical on ground, some are mental. But then if you give it time, and if you notice that the person is playing true to his identity, true to his form, then it's just giving it that latitude, giving it that time to come good.
Bharat, final 5 minutes on the show. Let's take some comments here. Abhishek Chaudhary is asking Samson similar sort of dismissals remind me of the England T20 series. It's a bit of a concern. Good to see that Ishan is getting runs, but will Tilak get the number 3 and Sanju Kishan will be rotated in time? Bharat, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I will disagree to some extent and agree to some extent with that particular message. See, first of all, he was out in a different fashion. He was dismissed in a different fashion in the series against England, where they used a couple of tall bowlers to hit the pitch hard, bowl those short deliveries, bowl a few of those back of lane deliveries, and he didn't exactly play those authentic pull strokes. He was trying to maybe pull more of the front foot. That is what Sanju Samson basically tries. But against tall, hit the deck bowlers, it's not so easy to do that. And that is how he got dismissed in a series against England with Jofra Archer mainly troubling him. Here in this, especially in the second game, I think Matt Henry's oval seam troubled him a little bit in that opening over. He is a very deceptive oval seam ball. It's very difficult to tell whether he's looking to swing the ball or whether it's a oval seamer. And finally, one of those oval seamers got him out. So that is I think Sanju Samson's problem. Maybe he's one of those again archetypal modern day batter who doesn't really load up his back foot so that he can cover his off stump. So a bowler who can nip it back like Matt Henry with that wobble seam, he can definitely trouble him a little bit. But having said that, he's still a good shot maker. In T20 cricket, if you get through the first 2 overs against the white kookaburra ball, then definitely it won't move around. After that, he can definitely play a lot of his array of strokes. So it's just about getting through those first 2 overs, where I think he will have some trouble against quality bowlers. So yes, they can rotate Sanju Samson and Kishan, because Kishan is definitely is in great form. Is in a great zone. We saw that in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy as well. It isn't just about this particular match, and I think he's improved
Yeah.
significantly as a batsman. So they can definitely look at rotating Sanju Samson and Ishan Kishan.
Yep. Um, Ashish Punna has sent us a super chat. Superb chase by our boys. Dil khush ho gaya. Good to see Ishan and Surya dominate this way. Surya's runs will give him a lot of confidence. Absolutely. This is what you want to see from your captain. Shomik, are you concerned about Sanju Samson? That's what a lot of people are talking about at this moment. Ahead of the World Cup, 2 back-to-back failures, and Ishan Kishan is looking as dangerous as ever. He can take up that spot.
No, Gargi, not yet. Just a couple of failures, and this is a very fickle format. You have to keep that in mind. T20 cricket is a very, very fickle format. So if it continues, if it continues for the next 2 games, then people might be concerned. Then the team management, it doesn't matter whether you are concerned or I am concerned. It matters if the team management is concerned. So I think another couple of failures, then the team management might start thinking in a different way. But at this moment in time, it's way too early. Just a couple of failures, and India play high risk cricket. You have to keep that on in mind also. India play a pretty high risk cricket in this format. So from that point of view, if you go back to Ishan Kishan innings for reference in the first T20I, he scored 8. He scored 8 of 4 balls, and he was batting. He was striking the ball very well. He hit 2 boundaries, and after that, trying to manufacture a shot, he got out. So it was not that. So just by judging by that, if someone said that Ishan Kishan failed in that game, it was not right. He was striking the ball well. Here also, Sanju Samson, just a couple of failures. He has enough time, and he has proved himself in this format. He has been pretty consistent performer in this format. I still back him to come good over the next couple of games.
Ashok, final comment from you. Looking at the way that the Indian team has been performing in this format, they go in as one of the favorites in the World Cup.
Without doubt, I think, I mentioned that India's now got a template. There are certain experiments that they were setting out to prove or disprove before these 5 matches versus New Zealand. Two of those experiments, I think, are bearing fruit. I think they have to just give it time and make sure that they get their combinations right. I think the role definitions that I spoke about, I think those are falling into play. Nonetheless, I thought New Zealand lost a trick in this match. I think at the end of the 12th over, they were 122 runs and they were looking like 230, 240. So they were clearly 20, 25 runs short of what they could have gotten to. And which brings me back to the point that you can't mimic a template unless you have the depth. So I think the template is in place. The captain is amongst runs. The roles are clearly defined. The middle order is firing. Hardik Pandya, Shivam Dube, Rinku Singh all have been amongst runs in the first 2 matches, which augurs well. And I think it's really fine tuning, tweaking, and getting some of the other quirks out of the way. I think one thing we must point out, which hasn't got enough attention, is that in a match, in a condition where there was a lot of dew, I think India's fielding, especially Hardik Pandya, I think we must call out the fact that those 3 catches that he took were not easy, as well as the 1 wicket that he took. I think his contribution also was very, very sharp and intelligent and key to India's win.
Agreed. And on that note, we'll take your leave. Thank you so much, Ashok, Bharat, and Shomik for joining. Shomik, do you have something to say?
No. Actually, I was about to say that I want to take your leave because I am having some technical issues with the phone and also internet.
We'll all
But
take our
before,
leave.
but we had already reached the Dinama.
Yep. Okay, so we'll be back tomorrow. Of course, there's a lot to happen when it comes to ICC and BCB. From what we are hearing from our sources, and we have broken the news that Scotland is set to replace Bangladesh in the T20 World Cup. We'll have to wait for the ICC's official statement. So whenever that comes, of course, we'll come back and chat with you guys. But till then, thank you so much. We'll be back at 12 p.m. tomorrow, so don't